Thank you for coming to the first Lehman event of the Coming Out of the Shadows of the Dream Team. We want to welcome you and we want to thank you for your support, for coming here, and for willing to stay and listening to the stories of these dreamers who are courageous enough coming out of the shadows and stating, that they're undocumented, that they're not going to give up, and that they're unapologetic about their status. So I want to thank you all for coming, and I hope you get to get an insight of what the students go through, and also of the allies that are supporting us, that even though they're citizens, they're still giving us their support, and that they are fighting with us together. So thank you. My name is Melissa. I'm the Vice President of the Lehman Dream Team.
Hi, I'm Chris. I'm president of the Dream Team. So basically, the Dream Team is a club, a student-run club for undocumented students. Although not only undocumented students are in the club, it is a club for people who are or support undocumented students. So with that brief note, I just want to welcome you all and thanks for coming.
Now I want to invite the professor who has given us her unconditional support, who has been our supervisor for the team, and who has shown us that she cares about this team and about the movement that's happening at the moment. So I want to welcome Professor Alicia Galvez.
Thank you. Thanks everyone for coming out. This is really meaningful. This is the second year, as far as I can tell, maybe third, that there have been coming out of the shadows events in the nation. And this is the first one at Lehman College, the first one at the Bronx, and the first one at CUNY. So let's give them a hand for putting this together. The energy is here. The students are fearless. And I just want to comment briefly on how brave and how fearless the students who put this event together are, and how fearless and brave they are, those who are going to speak. And those who are here and are still not ready to speak are still brave and fearless, because they go through their lives every day dealing with the limitations that are placed on their future because of the lack of a document that would allow them to enjoy all of the privileges that so many of us take for granted, to study and to work, and to have a future that will enable them to take advantage of their studies. It's been 26 years since we've had an immigration reform in the United States that has done anything positive for immigrants themselves. For the last 26 years, the only laws that have been passed in Congress have made the lives of immigrants more and more difficult each time. And it's one thing to talk in the abstract and to talk in our books and our articles and the things that those of us who are academics do about the need for immigration reform, and it's another thing to look in the eyes of a college student who doesn't know if they will be able to become employed when they graduate with a BA. That doesn't know if their investment in their education will pay off in the long term. And so by being here today, you're giving them reinforcement to know that we are working for immigration reform to get through Congress, for Washington to make a change and to enable these students now to have a future and to have opportunities that will make their investment and their hard work pay off and enable them to continue to work and study and contribute to our society. So thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Professor, for those words. Now I want to invite our president, Chris, who will be sharing the first story. So give him a round of applause, please.
Hi. So like I said, I'm Christopher Chavez. I'm a student here. I'm also an activist for the DREAM Act. So basically, I came to this country. I was brought to this country when I was 2 years old. I don't remember much of where I came from, which is Mexico. My parents brought me here because they wanted a better life for me. They wanted to see me be able to go to high school and be able to make something out of my life. And so far, I have pretty much done what they've wanted me to do. I've gone through elementary school, middle school, and high school, and so I've pretty much done. I abide by the laws. I don't even have like a ticket on my name or anything like that. But when I was in high school, I was enrolled in a vocational high school, which meant that I took up electrical. So I graduated with a certificate in electrical, and I could have gone to unions and or maybe an electrical school, but because of my lack of status and my I didn't have a social security card, and so basically I couldn't enroll in a union like many of my friends did. Um, I speak to some of my friends now, and they are doing pretty well. They have jobs. They're doing great for themselves. But unfortunately, I couldn't join them when they went to a union, and so that's really the moment that defined the turning point of my life. Because when I first enrolled in that high school, I figured I would graduate with an electrical certificate, and I would eventually become an electrician, if not an electrician engineer. But unfortunately, because of my lack of status, it really all just went down the hill when I found out that I was undocumented. After a while, after I graduated from high school, I didn't know what to do. I guess I really didn't know what to do since I couldn't work legally. And so I really just, at that time, I just really wanted to work. I didn't see a path to education through college. But I guess eventually my mom opened my eyes and she said that, she told me that I should just go to college because if not now, eventually there will be something that will help me in the future. And so I did. I went to Bronx Community College. I graduated in 2010 last year. So I have a math associates. And so after graduating there, I just decided to come to Lehman College because I figured that by the time I graduated from Bronx Community College, I thought that there would be something like probably the Dream Act would have passed already, but I guess but it didn't. So I just decided to come straight to Lehman College and and I decided to open a club for undocumented students because when I was in Bronx Community College, I really felt like I was alone. Like nobody else was in my position. Nobody else was undocumented. I felt like I was the only one. But as it turns out, after doing some research on the internet, I found an outside organization which helps undocumented students get their pass the Dream Act, and they fight for undocumented students' equal rights and to get their education. And so I found the New York State Youth Leadership Council, and I found that I wasn't alone. That there were many other undocumented students just like me who've had roadblocks in their lives as well. And so after going to some couple of meetings, I decided that I wanted to be a part of the movement, the Dream Act movement, the youth, and just be a part of it. And so when I came to Lehman College, I decided to open a club. I found Melissa, who was also a part of the New York State Youth Leadership Council. We actually met at a rally in Queens. And so that's when we found out that we were both coming to Lehman, which is pretty cool. And so that's when we were both starting also in the same semester. So we decided to open up a club for undocumented students, and so far it's been going great. But basically, my story is just like many of undocumented students. They lack documents that allows them to work, and so their future is just uncertain. Just because when I graduate from Lehman College, I don't know if I'm able to. I won't be able to do anything with my degree because I can't work legally, and so many of the jobs that are out there, they are off the books. But I mean, with my degree, I would expect something much bigger. I would definitely want to be a teacher, a math teacher, and so that's something that I can't do without a social security card or papers. And so like I feel like I'm powerless over my future, and that's something that I don't think anybody should be able to go through. But I'm just very grateful that that I'm not alone, and so Opening this club really opened my eyes that there are people who care about undocumented students, that we are not alone. And by sharing my story, I hope that many other undocumented students out there come out of the shadows and are able to just express themselves and be able to tell people that they are undocumented. The reason, one of the reasons why it's called, this event is called Undocumented, Unafraid and Unapologetic is because we are not afraid, and we are not apologetic. It was not our fault that we were brought here to this country at a young age, and so it wasn't our fault. But we are here nevertheless, and so we need to fight for change, and we need change now. Thanks.
Thank you, Chris, for your story. I think we want to say a chant so we can get more energized. So if you guys will follow with me, where, okay, got it. Okay, everywhere we go, who we are, so we tell them, we are the dreamers. We are the dreamers. The mighty, mighty dreamers. The mighty, mighty dreamers. Fighting for justice. Fighting for justice. And an education. And an education. Woo! Now I want to invite our next speaker, Karen, who's one of our allies. So let's give her a round of applause.
My name is Karen, and I'm an ally. I'm an ally because I was once in the shoes of the undocumented students that you were going to hear the stories, and I feel a bond with them, and I should keep fighting for them, even though I have documents and my future has opened up and everything. I feel that I should still be with them because when I was in high school, I was enrolled in a nursing program where I was able to take my exam and become a registered nurse. But when I told the teacher I don't have my social, she was like, oh, you can't take the test. You can't even, and I was like, can I take at least a look at the test? And she was like, no, you can't even look at the test. So then I realized I can't do anything with that. So then after that, I realized, well, what am I going to do with that? So my mom was telling me, oh, go to Mexico, get your diploma, graduate from college over there, and then come back. But from a little girl who came here at 3, I realized that they always told me that my dreams were always going to come true. If I dreamed really, really bad, my dreams would come true. But once you face the reality that 9 digits will dictate the rest of your life, my whole life just got destroyed because in the movies and everywhere else you see, it's like, oh, you graduate, you go to college, you have a family, you have a job, but they don't tell you the reality of undocumented students. So when I came to college, I realized that I was basically alone because at the time my brother, who's the president, he was in high school and I didn't have nobody, I didn't know anybody, and I felt so alone. So when the time came for me to create the dream team with my brother and all the undocumented students and the allies, I was so happy because I was like, I wish I could have had a place to go where I could talk and feel appreciated, we could say. Because in the media and everywhere they tell you, oh, we don't want you, you're just not welcome. So when the time came for me to become part of it, I was so happy. So a year ago, I became a resident, and that's when I realized you shouldn't give up on the dream because you're documented now. So I feel that a lot of people have a misconception, and it really gets me mad and everything. And taking courses with Professor Alicia Galvez, I've learned that it takes a lot, and I think we could do it if we try really, really hard. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Now I'd like to invite Janet, who's be speaking. Hello, everybody. I'm going to start off with a question, and I want to ask you who here thinks I am undocumented? Raise your hand. If you think I'm undocumented, raise your hand. Okay. All right. Well, I'm starting off with a story. It's an old-time story, and I'm going to bring you back the story of the rabbit and the turtle. Remember the story of the rabbit and the turtle, and remember when the turtle ended up winning, even though everybody thought the rabbit was gonna win. Well, this is my story, and this is my race. I'm the turtle in this race, and unlike the happy ending story, my ending will always come with me finishing last. As you might have guessed, that I am undocumented. All my dreams and aspirations, they were shattered in my last year of high school. While everybody was all smiles, and while everyone was all smiles, I was all frowns because I would hear and watch my classmates, their excitement, talk about what was to come, the college, the dorming, their careers. And I kept to myself a lot during that year, and I went through a series of denials. I even got to the point where I no longer cared about myself. I no longer cared of what would become of me because I didn't have any social security number. And all of my life I've been told that if you work hard and you set goals, you could become somebody great. And I believed it, when you're told that constantly, you believe it. And I felt to believe it. And I felt to believe that my dreams would come true, even though I didn't have a social security number. I mean, of course, I had always known that I was undocumented, but I never paid attention to it because I didn't actually know what the whole concept of being undocumented was. I always thought, when I was in school, hey, I'm going to school, I'm doing something right. That's all that matters, right? But I was totally wrong. I didn't realize how wrong I was. During that year my last year in high school, it's like there's a huge double-padded concrete wall that's placed around you. Because no matter how hard you try, no matter where you go, you can't do anything. All your efforts are in vain because you're not recognized as a human being just because of some measly numbers. Because you transition to a faceless human being because really you don't really exist in this country. But luckily, while I was too busy lamenting on what could not be, I had someone who cared enough for me that took me to where I am now. I'm a sophomore here, and I'm aspiring to be a top graphic designer. And after I graduated, my reality became a different one. I didn't know how hard I had it coming, but it came. And I'm here, and as of now, I'm embracing the situation. I am not turning my back to it, especially knowing that there are thousands of other students just like me in the same battle. Of course, it's not easy. It's actually a lot more work than expected, but you know what? Being undocumented has taught me a lot of values. You will find people along the way who will either, one, help you carry on, or two, bring you down. But this is our time to make change happen. It's practically screaming in our faces. When your mom is working double shifts just to pay off your tuition, it's screaming in your faces. When your dad barely sleeps because he has to make ends meet, it's screaming in your faces. When day after day America wants to block or worse, eliminate immigration, it's not screaming, it's yearning for change. And even when you yourself have to work full-time and be a full-time student, it's screaming in your faces. Especially when you go from application to application, trying to find a scholarship or a job that won't deny you because of your legal status, it's screaming in your faces. It's true, many opportunities are lost, many experiences are not lived through. And even time after time, it may seem as if this never-ending impediment will not cease.
But I do believe in us, and I believe in you, and I believe in me, and I believe in each and every one of us, who even though have been told no, we have tried again and again. You don't have to be undocumented to support this cause. You don't even have to be undocumented. You don't even have to know a person on a personal level who is undocumented to support this cause. Just by taking a look at all of America and how it builds up its cheap labor, it's obvious that something has to change. We are the children of those whose cheap labor contributes to America greatly. We're all students here, and we're trying to contribute to America. Even though sometimes we may feel as if we belong to two countries, reality is that this is our home. Whatever other country they brought us from, it is foreign to us. We cannot call a home a country that we barely have memory of. And with this, I end my story, but not my race. I may come last in the race, but one thing is for sure. It will be a well-earned finish because, believe me, sacrifice pays off. And like my mom says, querer es poder. If you want to build bad, you have power of the hands to go for it. Thank you.
I think we should give Dana another round of applause because that was the first time she ever came out to us as a team. So please give her another round of applause. Okay. Now we will have Michael. Please. Thank you.
I wanted to start off with a quote from an English author. Ralph Waldo Emerson once wrote, "We're always getting ready to live, but never living." When you stop to think about it, he was kind of right. I mean, we spend our first years learning the basic modes of communication and behavior in human society. And we spend roughly, 20 years learning, studying, doing homework, taking tests, reading, writing, etc., all to prepare ourselves for life beyond that. A life where we can do anything, be anyone we want to be. And people ask us when we're little, what do you want to be when you grow up? And you get answers like astronaut, doctor, lawyer, whatever. It's what this country was founded on. It's what it continues to preach. It's what's written in the Constitution, the land of opportunity where you can do anything you want. And yet, some of us squander it. A lot of us take it for granted. And it's a damn shame. But then, there are those who strive through the preparation and are then left stagnant, unable to do anything with it. These are the people who took a chance, who work to excel, who want to make something more of themselves, and this country, the land of opportunity, is failing them. My name is Michael Gregory Tavares, and I am not an undocumented student, but I used to be. My parents brought me here from the Dominican Republic when I was 4 years old. Now, you ask 4-year-old me what exactly was going on, and he would have said, "Oh, I moved." Plain and simple. And my parents and sisters and relatives and teachers, everyone instilled this intense sense of ambition in me to always strive for the best. School, the preparation, was the single most important priority. I was always the smartest boy in class, the golden boy back home, despite the 50 million other cousins I have. And I was always expected to do great things with this opportunity. My mom worked double jobs. My dad worked every single day. I could never see him because he'd work from, 9 in the morning. By the time I went to school to midnight, I was already asleep. I saw him maybe once a day, once a week. But they were doing this for me. They brought me here for this, so that I could get a better chance, so I could do what I wanted to do with my life without being limited like I probably would have been back in my country. I mean, they worked really hard just for me. But it wasn't until high school that I realized that once I was done, I couldn't really live up to anyone's expectations. I couldn't live up to my own expectations. I just simply couldn't live. Where did all my dreams go? No. That's right, they were blocked by a piece of paper, a 9-digit number. Like by my friend going, wow, your life sucks because you sort of don't exist in this country. But I did, you know. I remember everything. I remember birthdays, friends, family, school, puberty, dear God. I remember dreaming. This was my home. Everything of me was here. How could I not live in my own home? In the place that promised me and everyone else that we could live and become anyone. So when I received that piece of paper when I was 19, I was overjoyed. I could finally do whatever I wanted. I was already in school. I already had gotten my associate's degree, and I could finally actually do something with it. I could come to Lehman. I'm studying for my BA in accounting. I could do something with it now. But it was bittersweet because then I'd already seen everyone else. The other people I knew, people I loved, who didn't get the chance I had gotten, whose parent had died and couldn't claim them in a petition, whose parents didn't have anything of their own, so there was no chance for them to do anything at all, who were so easily in the same position as I was, the blissfully ignorant toddler, or the fearful adolescent coming to the grim realization of their shattered dreams. And I can still see you. You're still learning, and struggling, and striving, and hoping, and dreaming for a time when you can put all your preparation to use and live. You know, Emerson was right about one thing. We are always getting ready to live, getting ready for the next day. I can see you, unafraid of the future, fighting for your right, fighting for where you belong, your home, our home. We belong here. Fighting for the opportunity that was promised to you. Because you won't squander it like others will. You won't take it for granted. Because you know how it is living without it. Living without that hope. You know, fighting for the dream so that after so many years of getting ready to live, once you start, you won't stop living. So let's fight for this. It's worth it.